to one. On behalf of this video campus and entire BITS family, I, Dr. Sarfraz, welcome today's presenter or resource person, Dr. Shahnawaz Syed sir. Sir is currently working as Assistant Professor in College of Applied Medical Science, Department of Physical Therapy, University of Health, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He is presently serving as editorial board member in 34 international and national journals. He holds Asia Book of Records and India Book of Records as member of most of the editorial boards of health science journals. He has also received award 100 Most Dedicated Professors by World Education Congress held on July 2019 and Best Professor in Neurology Study by DNA, Daily News Analysis and Star Group of Industries in 2019. He has also reviewed more than 55 articles of various international journals like Archives of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation, Neurorehabilitation, Physical Therapy Reviews, Research in Neuroscience, etc. Korean Society of Exercise Rehabilitation invited him as a guest speaker at Autumn Conference, which is held at Gakon University in 2016. He has also received awards from prestigious organizations of India like All India Institute of Medical Science, Rehabilitation Society of Physical Therapists, India. He has published almost 18 research articles at various national and international journals. He is also author of 4 books. He has also done MOU with Texila American University to develop the curriculum for the course of DPT. He has also served as organizing secretary, organizing committee member, and scientific member for various international conferences across globe. I heartily welcome Dr. Shahnawaz Syed sir on behalf of entire BITS family. I welcome you, sir.
Yes, thank you very much.
It's my sincere gratitude for accepting our invitation for this webinar, sir.
Thank you very much. I am very thankful to BITS management and principal and Dr. Sarfraz who approached me for this presentation. And thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. So we'll start.
So before we start, a few instructions for all audience, our participants. Kindly mute your mic and we'll have question answer session at the end of this webinar. And for presentation, you can pin up a name called the Shahnawaz Syed. The sir is presenting himself, so you can pin up his screen so that you can see his presentation. And for today's presentation, in today's webinar, sir is going to cover how to choose the topic, how to identify thesis statement, writing process, literature search, and the most common errors which we do during selection of topic, citation and referencing. So without wasting much time, I hand over this session to our today's resource person, Dr. Shahnawaz Syed sir. So over to you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So we are going to start. So today we are going to discuss the craft of writing a research paper. So most of us, we are interested in publishing the articles, but sometimes we are missing a few components which may lead to a rejections. So just in today's presentation, I will try to make you give an outline. So what are all the difficulties we are encountering in writing the research paper? So at the end of the lecture, so the learner will able to understand the process of writing a research paper and to understand some different ways researcher develop the ideas for their research and to understand what to include or exclude in various sections of the research paper. So now this is the challenging for us, how to choose the topic. So this is the initiation whenever we are drafting any article, or whenever to start, how to start, where to start. So this is our challenge. So first, choosing the topic. How to choose the topic? The first one is the breadth of the topic. We must select the need to start. It will be a broad. So initially, while we are searching the topic, so it will be a broader area. So then we need to go in a narrower. So first it should be a very broader. So then slowly we need to draft and make it a narrower. And make sure that the topic, whichever we have chosen, will allow and have the originality. And originality in the sense it will be mostly related to our field, and it will helpful for our field, it will contribute to our field, rather than just regurgitating whatever the facts which are present in the previous articles. And sources. So on the other hand, so whenever we are choosing the topic, so it should be a scholarly grounding. So the topic would be, it should have evidence which should be reflect in the paper, and it should have a good scholarly grounding. So how to narrow the topic? So we should focus on a specific type or class. So initially, if you have taken any broad classification, so how we want to make a narrower? You be a specific type or class. So which area you are going to do the research? You are going to do on pain. If it is a pain, so which type of a pain? It is a neuropathic pain, or it is a muscular related pain, on which condition? Be specific to a condition. Next, focus on particular place or region. So whatever the region, whichever the place, be specific. So whether you are performing in which part of the country. Okay, so be specific to that area. And time period. Focus on time period. So what is the time for you to complete the research? For a period of how much time you are going to perform the research. And focus on certain aspects like it should be whether socially influencing or any legal, medical, ethical, biological, psychological, and economic, political, or philosophical. So these all components we need to focus. And focus the specific population. Which type of population we are going to do the research. So based on the gender, age, occupation, ethnicity, nationality, educational attainment, and species. Next, we will focus on the relationship between two or more topics. So how we should correlate with our previous topics. For an example, if you are going to do the research on the diabetes, so how diabetes is influencing the pain, neuropathic pain. So we need to correlate. So what is the relationship of the diabetes and causing the pain? So combine the different kinds and focus. So then you need to form the combination of this. Like we are going to do on a diabetes patient in Hile City for a period of 1 year, and it should be a medical, and it should be in the female population who is under the age of 18 to 40 years, and we want to know the relationship with the neuropathic pain. So that's how the topic will from broader area moving towards the narrower one. So some of the tips is still we want to do the narrowing. So we always use a journalistic questions like who we are doing this research and what we are doing, when we are doing, where we are doing, and why we are doing. So if you will ask these questions, it will give a more clarity, a roadmap to your research article, roadmap to your research topic. And always remember, review the recent literatures. Review the recent literatures from journals, from textbooks, and try to find out the gap. What is the gap existing between the literatures? And recall the questions whichever asked in your class. So try to identify whatever all the difficulties you are finding in problem solving of any patients. So try to recall those questions. For an example, So you are not for, there is a discussion in your college that you want to give the mobilization for the grade 2 osteoarthritic patient. So it is not comfortable. There is a discussion. So try to identify the problems which we are discussing in the class and try to work on narrowing the topic and apply your paper to your career goals. So choose for you are in a neurological specialty and further you want to go for your doctorate or further you want to choose a career in your neuropathic pain. So try to identify those particular strategies which will help for you, those particular topics which is help for you and enhance your career goals. So still if you are having a difficulty, the only person is talk to your professor. So discuss with your professor. So discuss the components, discuss the whatever the difficulties which you are facing, so discuss to your professor. So how to design the thesis statement? The thesis statement, it is a outline in miniature. It is nothing but a road map for the rest of your paper. So first you need to have a proper statement, so which will give a roadmap for the rest of your paper. And the thesis statement gives a brief mention to each of the paper's main points, which will state the overall argument the writer wishes to make. And it directly answers the question whichever asked to you. And the thesis statements makes a claim that others might dispute. So you should have a proper thesis statement. And it is usually a single sentence near the end of the first paragraph that presents your argument to the reader. So always it should be a single sentence near the end of your first paragraph that presents the argument to the reader. So how to identify a strong thesis statement? First thing is, do I answer the question? You try to recollect whatever the components, whatever the topic which you are working, and find out whether you are able to answer that question or not. And have I taken a position that others might challenge or oppose? So that the statement should be in a position that others might challenge or oppose. Does my thesis pass? Whether it is able to pass, and how and why, and how to test. So these are all the specific questions. Before identifying your statement, you should plan these questions and try to answer these questions. Then you find your statement. For an example, just an example. First, you find a essay topic like compare and contrast the reasons why the TENS and IFT will reduce the pain. So this is your essay topic. Then how to design your statement. So the TENS and IFT both will reduce the pain for many different reasons, some of which were the same and some of which were different. So this is a poor example of designing your thesis statement. Which might be the best one? While both sides reduce pain, TENS reduce at different intensities, while IFT reduce at different intensities. So here, both are helpful in reducing the pain, but you are working, you want to know the intensities. There are different intensities in which the pain is going to reduce. So once you have designed, once you have identified your thesis statement, once you understand your topic, once you narrower, before starting any research article, you should know the ethics. So the ethical values, basically it will be from Nuremberg Code. So the Nuremberg Code. Previously, we need to, in Nazis has been worked out the research in many unethical ways. So then the ethics formed this Nuremberg Code. So what is this Nuremberg Code? It is having a 10 components. The first one is a voluntary consent and fruitful results for society. The human trials to be based on previous animal studies. Avoid the unnecessary physical, mental suffering. So avoid trials that would possibly cause death or disabling injuries. And it should also use the risk-benefit ratio. And proper precautions which are necessary. Only qualified researchers only perform the research. And the human subject has the liberty to quit at any time during the trial. And the researcher may discontinue the medical experiment if the risk to human subject involved is significant. So these are all the 10 points where the Nuremberg Code has been given. Before writing any research, you should understand fully this Nuremberg Code. So next we are going for many of the journals follow this organization setups, which we called as an AMI or AD. What is this AMI or AD? So AMI or AD is A for abstract, I for introduction, M for materials, R for results, and discussion. So we need to work on these components: abstract, introduction, materials, results, and discussion. So how we want to write the abstract? So the abstracting service, which includes your title, text of your title, and the abstract, and the keywords which are searchable in the database. This abstract includes the services of your text of your title, whatever the title which you want to keep for your research article, and the abstract, keywords for searchable database. Keywords are most important. Why? It will reflect to search the article in various databases. So what are all the important components we should include in the abstract? The abstract draft includes, one is it should have a specific or some amount of background information, and it should have the purpose, why you are doing the study. So the purpose, the principal activity or purpose of the study and its scope. Hello. And it should have, hello. Hello, is my voice is audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Some information about methods. Be specific what methodology you have used in this study. And the most important is results of the study. Okay, and the most important point of the result. So that should be included in the abstract. And finally, conclusion. Conclusion, it should be a statement at the end statement. The end statement, which have a 2 or 3 sentences. These 4 or 5 components are helpful in the abstract draft. It should have some background. It should have the purpose of the study. Be specific to the components, and some information related to methods which we use it in the study, and results of the study, and conclusion. So how to write, how to design the introduction. So once we finish the abstract, then we are going for the introduction. The introduction, we should have a 5 stages. The stage 1, so locating your project within the existing field of the scientific research. So try to identify the existing literature where your project will stand, and try to search all the scientific literature which is available. So how we are going to search? We are using a different databases which are available. Like we'll go for Scopus, we'll go for PubMed. Okay? So PMC, PubMed Central. So we will use the keywords which is related to our research, and try to retrieve the articles which is related to our study, and try to read all those articles and withdraw the conclusions which are relevant to our study. Stage 2, using references in stage 2 and 3, and avoiding plagiarism when using others' work. So you have retrieved all the articles. Now you need to make sure the references, because whenever we are drafting the introduction, the most important, it is the others people work. So to avoid it, we need to give the in-text citation. So most important, we need to give the text citation. So we are using the references. So to draft our introduction, to draft the literature which is related to our project, so we are checking the references and we need to give an in-text citation to avoid the plagiarism. So once you have uh, gone through all the literature search, then you need to find out the gap. What exactly the gap in the last 10 years, which is which was not worked. So what gap you have found? What gap you have found by reviewing your literature? By reviewing your literature, you have find that gap. Those gap you need to draft on your, you need to identify your introduction. And finally, in the stage 4, the statement of purpose, the main purpose, why you are doing this study. So the statement of purpose will be the main activity. And stage 5, so you combine all these components and start the process of drafting the introduction. First, you need to identify your project within the existing scientific research, use the references, indicate or find out the gap, and write the statement of purpose, which is a main activity, and suggested the process of drafting. For an example, this is a scope. For an example, scope. So you have proposed a study which is affecting the alcohol on life expectancy. So you need to write, so what are the classes of the drinkers? All this will found in your literature, so in your 10 years study, and be specific how it will be related to the man. Okay. So then some of the limitations, because when men and women we are going, so they may not experience the same effect because the body physiology will be physiological changes will be little bit different. So there will be the limitations. That limitations we need to draft at the end of the introductions. Okay, so these are all the limitations. This is a scope of your introduction. So it is related to the alcohol. So we are searching all the literature related to the drinkers, non-drinkers, moderate drinkers, and heavy drinkers over a 10-year period, and you have searched for the man. Okay, then how it will be limiting the woman, how it is experiencing whether the same effects or not. Whenever you are doing alcohol on the exercise, how you are considering any medical histories, these all comes under your limitations. So try to draft at the end of your introduction. The next one is a methodology. So the methodology is a skeleton for the rest of paper. So we'll basically go through two strategies. So the strategy one, which we will use, we'll try to use identical or similar subheadings in the methods and a result section. So we'll use the identical or similar subheadings, which will in the methods. The methods will have the same headings, and also the results will focus the same sections. So whatever you are doing in the methodology, the same will be reflected in the result section. This is first strategy. Second strategy, we will use introductory phrases or sentences in the methods that relate to aims. Always remember, whenever you are starting with the methodology, try to correlate with your aim. What is your purpose? What is your aim of the studies? You need to try to correlate with your aim of the study and purpose of the studies. And methodologies, this will basically include three subsections. The first one is a participant, second one is a material, third one is a procedure. Participants, you need to specify how you are selecting the participant, what type of, whether you are doing a survey or experimental study, whether you are doing any blinded study. So be specific and mention how you are selecting the participants, how you are collecting the data, whether you have obtained any voluntary consent from the patient or you are paying any amount to the patient. So what are all the research ethical, all we should discuss in the methodology. So materials, list all the materials which you are using, whether you are using a scales, whether you are using any instruments, whether you are using whatever, all the data should be listed out and clearly explained in the methodology. Next is procedure, how you are adopting. So what you are doing. So what is your, how much time duration, what you are doing, whether you have obtained your ethical consent. So then next you are going for how you are treating the patient, okay, how much time you are treating. So all those things procedure will be specific and mentioned in these headings. Results. The next section we are coming to the results. So how we will organize the results section. So always reanalyze. You should reanalyze what is your aim of the research paper. Okay, reanalyze the aim of the research paper and try to correlate with the results whichever obtained, a general overview, general results, general overview of the results, try to correlate. Next, you appeal to view the results. So try to show in the diagrams with the graphs. And next, be specific and key results in detail. So what variables which you are used in your research, how the variables are changing, how the variables are modifying. For an example, pain, if you are working on a pain or range of motion, or if you are working on temperature, what exactly happened to this variable. Please be specific and key results in detail and show in the diagrams. I mean in the figures. And compare with these results in other research. So whatever you get the data of these patients in your research study, how the same results in a other research, try to compare it. And then whenever after comparing, try to rule out what is the possible implication. Means how in your study the range of motion affected compared to others by giving your treatment or by giving your whatever the treatment you have given, how the variable has been modified. So finally, you need to implicate with your results. So this is the result section. So organize the tables and figures. This is most important. Present the tabular results selectively in text. Always keep in a past tense. Past tense. This is most important because we have already done the work. So use in a past tense. No interpretation, just facts. Don't manipulate. So try to do whatever the facts you got, and table should stand their own. Next, we are going for a discussion section. The first paragraph, so the discussion section, first paragraph should answer the question or hypothesis. And make sure you remind what is the evidence of your pros and cons in the literature review, what you have identified the research gap, and why we are doing this study, or any other previous studies has influencing your study, and what results they got. So all these things you need to draft it. And what is the strength and limitations of this study? What is your strength? What you have identified? What is your strength of your study? And what is your limitations of the study? And implications of findings, which should be in a conservative manner. And other findings of your study. So along with if you are working on a pain, along with the pain variable, so if you found that the range of motion also improved, you need to draft it. So that is your implication. So you need to draft it that it also improved and ruled out the reason and correlate with the scientific way. And last paragraph should include a conclusion. So how we should draft the conclusion? So the conclusion, the author should reanalyze the previous research. So always reanalyze the previous research and the introduction to recall, which should have a specific weakness in the methodology used in the previous studies. So in the previous, whenever you are doing the previous research, whenever do the literature review, you found the previous research has some weakness in the previous study. So that you need to mention, and what methodology you used in this study, and you correlate, summarize with the results. First, you drafted the specific weakness in the methodology you found in your previous studies. Then in the second sentences you draft the methodology which you used in your study and try to summarize with the results. And draft the author's notes, one of the achievements. What biggest change you got in your study? What is your achievement of your work, which is very novel, okay, which you don't find in any other studies? That you should draft and specify it. And the author also describes the limitation of the study, which should direct the future research. This is the important. You end the conclusion. You always end the conclusion by mentioning what are the limitations which are present in your study, and these limitations will be direct to the future research. Okay. First, you need to specify the previous research and what the methodology they are used in your study. Then what is the novelty you found in your research, and in the last end paragraph, you can write the limitations which should direct your future research. So strong ending. So this is most important. Conclusions, analysis of results. Okay, analysis of result from overall perspective. That's what. So it should combine with your future perspective. You should give the research always give an open to the future future perspective. Okay, it should recommend the future work. Next, we are coming for the citations and references. Why we need to give the citations? What is the necessary? So the citations, it will allow the reader with sources of background and related material so that the current work can be understood by the target audience. Next, it should establish the credibility with reader and inform the reader that paper belongs to within a specific school of thought, and acknowledge and give the credit to sources relied upon for this work, thus upholding the intellectual honesty. So we need to give a proper citations because it is others' work and which is ethical, and to acknowledge and give credit to the other sources. So citation and references. Citations are embedded in the text of the document. So whatever the body of the document you are drafting, which should present, that is what we call as an citation. References which are appended, which are on the last, final, end. So that is what we call as an references. So citations are nothing but a pointers to the references, which will direct the reference. And citations, basically we will use two styles. We will use numbers, or we will use by names. If you are using by number, that is a Vancouver system, or citations by names of authors, that is a Harvard system. So these are the some of the useful web links for citations. Cite them right. So this is one site which was helpful to you people to cite for preparing the site, for preparing the references and also citations, and also it is a text available. And second site is BibMe. So this is also one of the writing center. It is available on the online. And next is Zotero. So this is also a referencing system. Edifix is also another referencing system, and Mendeley. These are all the few referencing system which is available online, so which makes your work actually easy. And also one of the plagiarism free software which is available, it is a QText. It is an online free software. It is a plagiarism detector. So we will, if your college or universities are having the Turnitin, that is a well accepted software for plagiarism. So once you have finished your article, you have drafted all the article. So then, what considerations when selecting the journal? How you need to select the journal? So where you want to publish? First, you go through the scope and aims of the journal. Because for an example, so the journal name is a International Journal of Neurologic Physical Therapy. If you have worked on a osteoarthritis, so the aim and the scope of the journal, that is International Journal of Neurologic Physical Therapy, is to publish the articles which are related to neurological scope, which is having the neurological scope of physiotherapy. So at the first stage only, the editor will reject your journal because the scope and aim of the journal is not allowing to publish the article. That is why it is most important. First, you need to identify what is the scope and aim of your journal. Then audience. who are the people who are referring the journal. Next, we are having the journal impact. What is the journal impact? Matlab, for last 2 years or 1 year, so how many readers are observing the journals and how many have been cited, and time of publication, because journals will be a 3 months, 6 months, and yearly. So what is your time? Or whether you want to publish in 3 month period or 6 month, or you want early, so you should observe all this. And pay charges, how much they will charge, or some or most of the open access are having the free of cost at some. First you need to rule out all these components, whether it is coming to your criteria, then you freely send the article to the journal. So before submitting the manuscript, what do you want to do? So always remember, all the successful authors adopt the 5 practices. What they will do before going to the publication, first they review the manuscript for colleagues. So they will make the habit of reviewing the manuscripts of colleagues and journals. They will become a reviewer in the journals. So they will make sure they will understand what are all the difficulties in the articles. So this is a one good habit. So review the manuscript for colleagues and journals and develop a strong framework for research writing and manuscript critique. Next, the second point is plan the research and writing to meet the quality assurance criteria that referees and editors will impose. So you should plan the research writing. So for an example, if a journal, the International Journal of Physiotherapy, is having a specific reviewing framework, reviewing chart of framework, you try to understand what is their reviewing framework and try to make sure that your article should have all those criteria to fulfill. And carefully select the journals they will submit and prepare the manuscript content and style to maximize the chances of acceptance. Once you have selected your journal, please go through what is the style they are adopting. So depending on which, you try to modify your manuscript and use a structured review process. Use a structured review process means pre-reviews. Before submitting, you do a pre-reviews from your colleagues, which will improve the manuscript before submitting to journal. And always use your journal referee reports to improve the manuscript and demonstrate to the journal editor how improvements have been made. Okay, so all these 5, these are the classical 5 practices which we will adopt before submitting the manuscript. And the next one is, this is important, how to deal with the rejection. So there is nothing to worry if your journal is rejected, but we need to rule it out and work on it and make sure it should be published. So the basic rules of thumb which we are apting is, first rule is, please try to understand, it is rare that a referee or editor is completely right and author is completely wrong, or vice versa. The author is completely right or referee or editor is completely wrong. Means the referee completely right and author is completely wrong. Okay. The next is rule 2 is, when responding to referee, so the object to accommodate the referee by addressing their comments without compromising the message of purpose. So whenever you got a rejection, so you have identified what are all the difficulties which you have observed in your article. Try to fulfill and accommodate all those comments, and again try to write a letter to the managing editor that I have completed all these. I have fulfilled all the comments which you have given to us in our research. And rule 3, always show the editor that you are doing everything you can to improve the manuscript. Okay, so whenever it has been rejected, you should work on the manuscript and send them back and show them that you are working on improving the manuscript. And rule 5, rejection or criticism do not automatically mean that your science is not good or the paper is not well written. Okay, it doesn't mean that whatever the research aspect you have done, it is not good or the paper is not well written. So you should then consider the other journals, and you should, while you are approaching to the other journals, include the additional work or rewrite some or all of the paper and then submit to the other journal. Okay, this how we need to handle the rejection. Okay, so next we are having research skill development. So how we can improve our research skills. So journal clubs, we need to involve in the journal club. This is most of the colleges we are doing. Next, writing groups, we should form the groups where we should develop the English writing skills. Okay, writing groups or drafting groups, and try to exchange the material and try to identify the difficulties. Next is selecting feedback strategies for different purposes. So in the group, you will give the feedback strategies. So select some of the students, some of the who are interested in the group, then take the feedbacks from them, okay, and try to involve in the research papers. And training for responding to reviewers. So this is training for responding to reviewers. What we will do whenever the journal reviewers has sent the articles to you, having the comments, then you form the group, give the article to all of the group members, and try to identify how the group members are responding and discuss with them, try to find out the best solutions and draft it, and again send back to the journal. So these are the some of the skills which is helpful in improving your research article. And this is the most important area. So developing a discipline in specific English skills. So most of the high indexed journals, so with some grammatical errors, but the research content is good. But because of having this English language grammatical, so they are not accepted. So we need to develop the very specific discipline in the English skills. So we are having some of the apps like Conco app. This is one of the software which can be convert your and helpful for you in Grammarly. So these two will helpful in improving your English skills. So these are common errors which we will find out in the English in articles whenever we are drafted. Missing the comma after an introductory element. So this frankly, so sometimes the commas are missing when we are drafting the articles. Vague pronoun. The pronouns will be very vague, transmitting the radio signals by satellite. Okay. So overcoming the problem of scarce airways limited. So this vague pronouns also difficulty. Airwaves. So the airwaves. So we should be have the grammatical errors. Okay. Wrong words. There should be a misplaced of the words. Like the Pacers played their best. So it's their best. So whenever we are drafting, we'll use the common grammatical errors. Wrong or missing verb. Like Ernesto use plain imaginary throughout the poem. It's a uses. Okay. Drop. Missing the verb ending. And missing the prepositions. Like we meet on or in. Who called the game yesterday? Who called off the game? The most common misplaced possessive apostrophe. Okay. Sometimes we will give apostrophe which is not required. Unnecessary shift in the tense, which is not required, but we will shift in our tense. Cries, keeps, wrong tense or verb form, broken, okay, ad lib, and missing comma in a series, okay. See, we are giving comma, but sometimes when I'm writing, some of the commas will be missed. Unnecessary commas, which is not required with the restrictive elements, we will do. Used sentence. Okay. Whenever we are doing the and misplaced or dangling modifiers, the sentence itself will be a wrong. These are all the most common English drafting we will do, so which may lead to our non-acceptance in the high index journals. So we should choose different types of font size. So this is about our lecture, and just the final thought is our greatest battles with our own minds. And education is not filling a bucket, but lighting the fire. Okay, so there is one thing stronger than all armies in the world, that is a idea. Idea will be a most important. These are all the references for literature. Okay, thank you. If you are having any doubts or discussions, please let me know.
Yes, all the participants, kindly put down your doubts in chat box so that I can dictate on your behalf. Yes, all the participants, kindly put down your doubts in chat box. I guess, sir, you have explained so simple way and very insight knowledge of enlightening some very deep knowledge of research. So I guess everyone are clear with their doubts and the presentation. That's why we are not getting any questions from our participants.
Okay.
We'll wait for 1 more minute and then we'll proceed for the end session, sir.
Okay, fine, fine.
From Khushbu Joshi, is it fine to publish any research at bachelor level?
Bachelor's level, yes, you can do the literature of the article which is having a good potential. You can approach to the specific journals. Okay, so whichever the related in your field. For an example, if you are doing your research article in orthopedics, try to go to the specific ortho related journals, and definitely you can do, there is no issue.
Okay, I hope Khushbu, your doubts has been clear. One more question, sir. Okay, sorry, it's not a question, it's a compliment. It's concise and simple explanation, so they are clear.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Sir, on behalf of all the PG students, I would like to ask one question.
Yes, yes.
So what kind of study usually PG should perform or PG should do? during their 2 years tenure, because research activity must carry on for longer period of time. But in these 2 years, what kind of, I'm asking on their behalf. So
Yeah, yes. It will depend on the availability of the patients and design, whatever the design you are having. Okay, so because it should be specific on specialities. For an example, if a neurological patients, so if it is a neurology related to neurology, if the patient's availability, if stroke patients are more available easily, then try to focus on it. So within the stipulated time, we can finish the study. So don't approach on a vague where you are having a difficulty in identifying the patients. So which will be little bit difficult for you to complete in the stipulated time.
okay, sir. Thank you. I hope is it clear for all the PG, those who are recently enrolled for their master program. All right, last call for any doubts or any questions from participants. Okay, question from Karishma Sachdev. In neurology,
Okay.
what kind of study can be done in old age with no specific medical history?
For old age patients.
Yes, sir. In neurology, what kind of study can be done in old age with no specific medical history?
Okay, we can go for falls, the risk of falls, because in geriatric patients, there is reduced in all the system, the neurological reflexes, the reaction time will be reduced. So, so you can go for without any medical problems, you can do the fall prevention, how to prevent the fall in old age patients. That is one thing. Second thing is you can work on reaction times, how the reaction time are reduced in the old age patients, like auditory reaction time or visual reaction time. Okay, so how they are reduced. So like that, we can identify that. We can work on this component.
Okay, thank you, sir. I hope Karishma is it's clear. All right, fine, sir. We are proceeding towards the end. Word of thanks.
Okay.
Uh, First of all,
Thank you.
sir, one more question. Sorry.
Okay, fine.
Uh, what is the importance of parent study and what we have to look in that from Jigna Chaudhary?
What they said, please come again.
Importance of parent study and
Okay.
what we supposed to look into.
See, exactly, there is no scientific term, as far as my knowledge is concerned, like a parent study. So we need to do the literature review based on the uh, based on our specific topic. Then we need to find out the gap, what exactly the difficulty and what are the components which we have not done previous work. Those components we need to take and work on it. So as far my knowledge is concerned, there is no any research or specific term like parent study. So that is just we will use as a layman term for the directing or educating the students to convince them easily. Hello.
All right, sir. Yes, thank you,
Ah,
sir. Hope it is
yeah.
clear, Jigna. And those who have still doubt and feel shy to ask here can write down the email ID of sir. It is already presenting on screen, right? So you can. I hope is it fine, sir? Right? They can approach
Yes, sir.
you through your email.
Yes, sure.
Yes, if you have any further, if you need any doubts to be clear, can mail him on which is mentioned on already on your screen. So we are proceeding for the and a word of thanks at the final stage of this webinar. Sorry.
Hello.
One more questions.
Please.
Is it possible the cohort study in the PGs and cross-sectional study too? So she mean to
Cohort
ask
study.
during PG tenure whether she can go with the cohort study or cross-sectional study. Is it okay?
Yes, yes. Whenever you are doing your ethical committee, so then only you plan accordingly and start from the day one. Try to collecting the data from day one, identify those components, and whatever you are completing in that particular tenure, you can draw the conclusion and try to draft those limitations which you are not researched. So that will be carried out by your future postgraduate students.
Okay, sir. Hope Darshana it is clear. Fine. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Now I'm proceeding towards the end of our webinar.
Font size for specific poster.
Fine. We are thankful to our Honorable Founder, President and Chairman Sri Jagdish Bhai Patel sir for providing such platform to acknowledge or to conduct such educational activity. We are also thankful to our Honorable Managing Trustee Srimati Kamal J. Patel Band and our Honorable CMD Sri Dhruv J. Patel sir for continuous motivation. We take this opportunity to thank our Honorable Campus Director for for providing her valuable comment in time and help towards providing all the resources. We are very much thankful to our today's presenter, Dr. Shahnawaz Sayyed sir, for enlightening us a deep insight of research in a very concise and very simple way. So we are very much thankful to you, sir. Thank you so much for accepting,
Thank you.
for contributing towards the research, to our all those participants, especially our PG students. Thank you so much, sir. We are
Thank you
also
very much. Thank
thankful to our graphic designer, Mr. Ravindra Gade. We call him Gade Dada for his constant graphic designing towards our all the poster making and graphic designing activity. Thank you, Dada. And of course, we are also thankful to all the participants. Without them, this webinar would not have been possible. And I acknowledge the unwavering support received from our principal sir, Dr. Mehul Jadhav sir, and BS Physio faculty and student as well. So I'm thankful to all those who have directly, indirectly contributed during all this webinar activity, educational activity throughout since lockdown we are conducting. So I once again thank everyone whose contribution made this webinar successful. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I'm very thankful to you, the BITS.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your valuable time. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.